When you're developing your application locally, you might be using HTTP instead of HTTPS, and that's generally fine. But when your application is in production, you really, really want to make sure that every user is going through a secure connection. So how can we ensure that happens without breaking our local development environment? Well, the first easy thing we can do is we can come into our app service provider, and we're going to use the URL facade and call force HTTPS. And when the parameter that's passed to this is set to true, it's going to make sure that any URL that's generated through the URL function or the root function or anything like that is going to be made with an HTTPS schema. So we can check that the app is production, and that way it's only going to make sure that happens in production and not our local development environment. But the second thing, what if a user somehow already ends up on an HTTP link? Even if we've not linked to them from our own app, they could still type in HTTP in the menu bar or be linked from somewhere else. So we need to make sure we can redirect them to a secure link as early as possible. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to make a middleware, and we're going to call it HTTPS redirect. Now, if we come into this middleware here, what we can do is we can start to check if the request is not secure and the app is not in production, or if the app is in production, then we can take the current request URI and send that off and redirect it to a secure version. So this redirect secure is essentially going to take this and ensure that it is got an HTTPS schema. And that's going to return a 302 redirect back to the user. And so by having this in place, it means that any user that ends up coming to our site for some reason in an insecure way, we are forcing them to a secure link. So the last thing we need to do now is set that up in our providers. So we can come over here to our bootstrap app.php, and we can say middleware append, and we are going to give it a list that's going to include our HTTPS redirect middleware. And if we do that, that should now be working just fine.